Town of Prescott Valley regular town council meeting called to order June 24th, 2021. At this time, I'd like to welcome Gabriel Gutierrez from Mountain Valley Church of God up front for our invocation. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for this special invitation. I'm Gabriel Gutierrez, one of the pastors in here in town, and serving our community, actually in the Spanish community. So my first language is Spanish, so I'm going to try to do it in English.
Sir, you can do it in Spanish. God listens to all of
yes,
us. So
yes, absolutely. He understands every language, but I want to try in English.
Okay.
Father, we came this afternoon, Lord, and we ask you for your blessings. We ask you for your favor, Lord, in this place. Especially I bless for all the people who are in this meeting, Lord. To bless them with protections, Lord, over them, Lord. But especially I pray for this council meeting, Lord, and every people and here in this room, Lord, to bless it with the wisdom, Lord. Padre, te doy gracias en el nombre de Jesús por la bendición de poder estar en este lugar, Señor, exaltando tu nombre en alto, ponerte en primer lugar en este meeting, en esta reunión, Señor. Te damos gracias en el nombre de Jesús. We give you thanks in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Nice job, sir. Start us off in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of which I stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
God's listening. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Kinsinger?
Present.
Councilmember Dickinson?
Here.
Councilmember Hepperly's not here. Councilmember Schumacher?
Present.
Councilmember Packard?
Present.
Vice Mayor Hunt?
Here.
Mayor Polguta?
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Jump right in on item 5, council comments. Councilman, you have anything?
The only thing I want to mention is next Wednesday, June 30th, CASA, the Seniors Central Area Seniors Association out there on Manzanita Circle, there will be a ribbon cutting next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Then they're going to be showing off what they've done is there's a pavilion in the back now. They've got that all fixed up, so it's just open to the public to come out and look at it. And then you'll be able to buy lunch there that day I think it's going to be from 10 to 1. You can buy a lunch for $5. But if you have a chance, run out to CASA next Wednesday, the 30th at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Thanks, sir. Councilwoman?
I was also at that same meeting today, and they did talk about bingo, and the bingo that they offer there has one of the biggest payouts. They do offer bingo on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So it sounded like a lot of fun. So if you get a chance to do that as well, come on out.
Councilman? Vice Mayor?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. Our colleague here, April Hepperly, is supporting her son at away baseball games, and I'm hearing that they're doing very well. So she's doing a good job doing that. I would like to invite everybody to Red, White, and Boom. It's July 4th in Mountain Valley Park from 3 p.m. to about 10 p.m., and the fireworks start at 9. Thank you, Bobby. So fireworks start at 9, but come early because it's going to be big fun, and we're going to have a lot of bouncy things, I think probably for big kids too, and some of them are going to be water related, so if it's too warm, you can get sprayed off and dry off and then start all over again. So we're hoping you come there. It's going to be the old term safe and sane fireworks. So we invite you to come and celebrate with us, and don't celebrate using fireworks at home. We don't need that. So anyway, and then I also want to, I don't know how many of you know this, but we have this great big book here, and it's called the Prescott Valley Town Code. You see how thick it is? It holds everything to have to do with the town, and Fatima is the keeper of this code, and this is how the town, the council, and our commissions operate. And so in this code, there is a section, and it's Town Code Section 9-05A-045, and it talks about our water conservation plan. And in addition to that, we also have a drought preparedness plan, which we're required to update every 5 years. And if we didn't have a drought preparedness plan, the Arizona Department of Water Resources would be pounding on our door and everything would come to a screeching halt in Prescott Valley. So this is available on the town website. The town code is available on the town website. So if anybody has any questions on our drought preparedness plan or our water conservation plan, which we're required to do every 5 years, please look on the website. You can call me directly at 951-837-0020, and I'm happy to make copies for you. But it's really important with the dryness that we're having, not as of today, but it's important that we all know that Prescott Valley is prepared. Thank you.
Councilwoman?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here with us tonight. I just want to remind everyone to keep our firemen and CAFMA in your prayers as they're fighting the Raphael fire and the surrounding areas. I guess there were a number of fires that they brought together and named as one. We pray for all the residents. We are grateful that Paulden is no longer in the set stage, and we are our prayers just go out to all of them, and we just ask for everybody's vigilance and being careful with throwing cigarette butts out the windows and dragging chains, leaving hot coals in your grills on your patios. Anyway, just a reminder for everybody in that respect. This last week, we attended a number of retirements in our community, and we all knew that Marty Grossman, Laura Lee Nye, Richard Anderson, and Larry Tarkowski retired, but we had a big shebang for them and a barbecue to send them off with good wishes. And Gloria Gross from the Chamber of Commerce, Prescott Valley Chamber of Commerce, retired, and we had a nice going away for her yesterday. And we wish all of these individuals Godspeed and God's blessings. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, item 6, consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the town council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Council, we've all had a chance to review. If there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda by electronic vote.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 7, new business. 7A, reappointment of Kay Gorman to the Parks and Rec Commission. Vice Mayor will be taking over from here.
I will. Thank you. Kay, come on up. So on June 30th, 2021, Kay Gorman's term on the Parks and Recreation Commission will come due for renewal. She submitted a renewal application. We were very glad that she did. Asking to be reappointed, Kay was first appointed to a partial term on this board on October 24th, 2019, and this reappointment would be her second consecutive term through June 30th, 2024. Kay, you got anything to say?
Well, of course. I'm really happy to be in Prescott Valley. Boy, are we growing, and so many things are changing, and that's all for the good. I'm really happy that I can be a small part of the Parks and Rec that make people happy. And thank you guys for appointing me for 2 more years.
Nice. Well, thanks for wanting to do it. That's more important. So we thank you.
So with that, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Kay Gorman to the Parks and Rec Commission for a term ending June 30th, 2024 by electronic vote.
Can I have a second?
I second it.
Clerk, call the vote, please.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am, and thanks, Kay. Item 7B, reappointment of Brett. Brett, I share the pain with you on this
Come
one.
on
So
up.
my last name starts with a P, yours starts with a P, and it gets butchered all the time, so I'm just going to leave it up to you for that one. Getting appointed to Parks and Rec Commission. Vice Mayor?
So Brett here is a fabulous person. He actually chairs our Parks and Rec Commission. On June 30th, 2021, Brett's term on the Parks and Rec Commission will come due for renewal. He submitted the renewal application letter asking to be reappointed. Brett was first appointed to a partial term on May 26, 2016, and this reappointment will be his third consecutive term for a term ending June 30th, 2024. And I got to brag a little bit about Brett. Not only does he volunteer his time on the Parks and Rec Commission, but he also works for CAFMA and EMS, I think, right?
Until July 4th, yes.
Yeah. So he's just pretty amazing. I'm so proud of this young man. He's got littles at home. He's got a fabulous wife. And he sits on our Prescott Valley Illegal Fentanyl Working Group. And he's been a great contributor to that group. So, Brett, tell us about how awesome the Parks and Rec Commission is.
Yeah, 3 consecutive terms for 6 years of duration. It's been a wonderful opportunity to learn the community, learn the potential for our growth, our pattern. Also have some input and some great say in what the direction we might travel. I look forward to coming years in regards to the Parks and Rec, and thank you again for the reappointment and the consideration for the position. So thank you.
Awesome, Brett.
The reason I say July 4th is not only do I get reappointed for this, but I'm also taking a promotion on July 4th, so that's good too.
Woo, to what?
How exciting.
An engine captain within CAFMA.
Good for you.
Congratulations.
Can he still please be on the Illegal Fentanyl Working Group, Chief? Okay, good. That was a yes. Thank you. Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to approve Brett
Polican, yeah.
Polican, just like it's spelled, to the Parks and Rec Commission renewal date of June 30th, 2024 by electronic vote.
I'd like to second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Vice Mayor Hunt.
Yes.
That passes unanimously.
Brett, thank you very much.
Thank you,
We
Mayor.
appreciate you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Moving on, item 7C, reappointment of Gilbert Strider, Library Board of Trustees. Is Gilbert here?
Gilbert? There he is. Okay, so on June 30th, 2021, Gilbert's term on the Library Board of Trustees will come due for renewal. He submitted a renewal application letter asking to be reappointed. Gilbert was first appointed to a partial term on this board on March 26, 2020, and this reappointment will be a second consecutive term until June 30th, 2024. What do you have to say about our fabulous library?
I'm very proud to be associated with the library. Wonderful staff, leadership, and it is a community-based library here to serve the public, which is, I think, is just wonderful.
Nice. Very well said, sir.
Great. So, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Gilbert to the Library Board of Trustees for a term with a renewal date of June 30th, 2024.
I'll second.
Please call the vote.
You guys are cute.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. And sir, thank you. Moving on, item 7D, town expenditure limitation and budget, fiscal year 2021, 2022, and we are opening a public hearing at this time. Ms. Katie, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. I can wait until anyone else.
So at this time, it is a public hearing, so if anyone would like to come up at this time, you can certainly come on down and speak on this topic alone, though. So is there anyone out there that would like to speak about our budget? And if not, we will turn it back over to Katie and see if council has any other questions. We kind of went into this pretty much in depth at work study, but is there anything you'd like to add?
Just that this is for the final adoption for the expenditure limitation for the upcoming fiscal year 21-22. And with that, our total budget will be $159,639,060. And if council has any other questions, I'd be happy to address those.
Vice Mayor?
Mr. Mayor, I just want to say thank you, Kata, to you and your staff for how hard they worked doing this budget. I know it was a little bit of a challenge to recover from COVID and get back on track, and you guys did a fabulous job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. With that being said, I'm going to close the public hearing. And council, if we don't have any other questions for Katie, we'll get a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. A motion to authorize the mayor, or in his absence, the vice mayor, to sign resolution number 2189, adopting the fiscal year 2021 to 2022 final expenditure limitation and budget for the town of Prescott Valley by electronic vote.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Second it.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 7F, amendment to the agreement with CH2M OMI, basically Jacobs Utilities Operations, Maintenance and Management Service. Mr. Wadsworth, welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Mayor and Council. We spoke about this last week. We gave you a couple of presentations. I do have those here available if you want to go over them or have any questions about them. If not, I will just be here to answer any questions, but essentially we're looking at a 3.55% increase on the base fees for what Jacobs does for the town for the operation of the water, the wastewater, and those. And then in addition to their base fees, we've got the other repairs and electricity and things that we pay for, plus some additional projects that they're going to be doing for us. And but I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Council, we have anything for Mr. Wadsworth? I see the Jacobs guys in the back. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate all you do for us. If not, take a motion.
Mr. Mayor, again, I'd like to make a motion to approve the amendment number 2 to the agreement with CH2MHILL-OMI, also known as Jacobs, for operations, maintenance, and management services in fiscal year 2021-22 by electronic vote.
Second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 7G, reimbursement agreement, Granville parallel sewer line installation.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Again, as we spoke last week, this is an agreement with Granville. They are doing some work in their Unit 15, which is south of the Granville Elementary School on the east side of Glassford Hill Road. As part of that, they're going to be improving the Santa Fe Loop Road on that side, and we needed we have a plan to install a parallel sewer line under that portion of the road and continuing to the next mile going to the east. But our plan wasn't to do that for another year or two, and since Granville is going to be improving the road, we are going to have them install the sewer line under that section, and therefore we will need to reimburse them for that work, and that's what this agreement covers.
We have any questions, Council?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
I motion to approve the reimbursement agreement per Town Code 14-04-070 with Universal Homes Construction, LLC, for installing a parallel wastewater line by electronic vote.
Have a second?
I second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on, item 8, comments from the public. Consideration and discussion of general unscheduled comments from the public. Those wishing to address the council need not request permission in advance. Any such remarks shall be addressed to the council as a whole and not to any member thereof. Such remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes unless additional time is granted by the mayor. At the conclusion of the unscheduled comments, individual members of the council may respond to the item addressed at the discretion of the mayor, or may ask that the town manager review the matter or ask that the matter be placed on a future agenda. Clerk?
Chief Scott Freitag.
Welcome, sir. Just because I know you, please note the timer.
Yeah, I know. I will be brief. First of all, I'd like to say to Scott Freitag, Fire Chief, Central Arizona Fire Medical Authority, we're very thankful for the rain right now, given everything that's happening in the state. But that's not why I'm here tonight. I want to give you an update. I've been before you before to discuss concerns that we have with the transport ambulance in this area. Over the last several weeks, that has become much worse. They're having some labor issues and during contract negotiations. And what we're seeing is, for an example, they typically will have 11 units in the system, which is not enough. Over the weekend, they dropped to 5. So we staffed up our rescues to backfill, which is legal, as long as I don't call them an ambulance. Tuesday, the situation was worse, and we ended up transporting patients to the hospital because we could not get a transport ambulance. Tuesday night, for an example, Engine 50, which is Glassford Hill and 69, got a call for received an EMS call, and they were told that the closest available ambulance was coming out of Wickenburg, which, as we all know, is a long drive. We have been in contact with the state. We are filing formal complaints with supporting documentation. The state did contact AMR, and to their credit, AMR said there's nothing to see here. No interruptions in service. However, AMR did have a conversation with our EMS chief last night and acknowledged they are having challenges. And those challenges, to our understanding, as reported by their employees, may get worse next week. The only option we have at that point is that we're going to start staffing our rescues on Wednesday, which is difficult, but we're going to staff them up anyways, just to see how things go. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge that is becoming increasingly worse. We're seeing a lot of extended response times, big uptick in the last 2 months, but the last 2 weeks have been absolutely terrible, with their system going into level 0, meaning no ambulances available multiple times. So I just wanted you to be aware. We are in conversations with the state, but as you remember, they're not a lot of help down there. So we're working every angle that we can, but I want to assure you that we will do what we need to do as the fire department to ensure the safety of the citizens. So I thank you for your time. I did pretty good.
I'm going to give you some credit for that one.
Yeah.
Like, you did a very good job on that. So
You got time for the next time when you're here.
I made it.
appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Clerk,
Joanne Aguirre.
welcome, ma'am.
There's 3 people on that paper, me, my son, and my sister. My son and my sister yielded their 3 minutes to me, so I asked the whole council if I could have 9 minutes. I've been interrupted, so we don't have to stop, get up, and get down.
We're going to have to, unfortunately, ma'am, we do have to switch off, so you'll have 3 minutes.
Why is that? Is that in the code?
That's our normal procedure, yes, ma'am.
So it is in the code.
Ma'am, your time is going right now.
I haven't started. I asked a question first. Can you please start it again? I'm asking the whole council. I had a question. There's 3 people on my paper.
Ma'am, you are more than welcome to begin. Thank you.
All right. Okay. How many know in any government, that is the city council and school boards, take away freedom of speech, which is 3 minutes, now they only get 2, they're violating our First Amendment rights. That is oppressive. The city council did you know that the Arizona Constitution, Article 2, Section 3, the supreme law of the land, is the United States Constitution, which gives me First Amendment rights anywhere. In March, I asked the city council and the Humboldt School Board to present a short video with a doctor with expertise in bioweapons and masks, presenting how masks damage kids physically and psychologically. The city council said no, and I was told by an arrogant manager who had no First Amendment rights in this city council meeting, which is contrary to the U.S. Constitution, the Arizona Constitution, in which they took oath to. And I have references. I gave them references. Nor did the mayor or any of these council members acknowledge my request. I have First Amendment rights anywhere. The question is, why did the city council, why would they stop me from presenting evidence to the public that about masks, the public, not the government, can make up their own minds, but this city council blocked me from presenting scientific evidence. This is a corrupt city council by acting in a Gestapo way, blocking me today to even giving me my 3 minutes. I don't think the city council people are bad, but they know the truth now, are accountable. The city council should look at the New York Times versus Sullivan 1964 case. Dust off your bonds because you'll need them if you continue to usurp the people's rights. The Humboldt superintendent, Pothass, along with the court minor, the overpaid curriculum administrator, took a bribe from Ducey under EO 2020-51, Part 5 and 6. Ducey bribed the school boards of Arizona, instructing them to develop and implement a face covering policy for school kids. In return, they received full pay during the lockdowns. This was 4 months after we were locked down and the parents were teaching their kids and there was no remote learning. Masks were not meant to, were inducted.
Ma'am, I'm going to ask you just to kind of wrap up your thought on this, okay, please?
Okay. I'm just going to say the Humboldt School District have 23 ologists, pathologists, psychologists, speechologists. I did an audit on them yearly. We pay them $1.6 million just for 23 ologists. That doesn't include administration or teachers or anything else. The school employees should have went on unemployment, just like the rest of the states that were unemployment. I'm not going to back down from this.
Ma'am.
They spent $100,000 on, they were given $100,000 for computers. I did an audit on that too. I bought every school kid in the district a computer,
Ma'am,
and
I'm
every
asking
teacher.
you to wrap this up, please.
I only spent $30,000. I asked
Can you
Fort
please
Minor.
pass this off,
Where the
ma'am?
other
Thank you.
$70,000 went?
Thank you, ma'am.
Is Ben Smith here? Raylene Gosney?
Do you mind if I stand up here with her?
If you'd like to, ma'am, that's fine.
Where are we at? Hurry up, because they only get paid. He gets
Okay,
paid
well,
$530
can you tell me
an
where
hour.
we're at?
Right here. Right here.
I lived in Southern California most of my life. The way the city council is buying and developing property in PV, the city will turn into like a downtown LA. I'd like to see the traffic reports conducted before the building up of PV with homes and businesses. We are going to have major traffic problems such as those in LA. I want to look at the developer's information, all contractors' information, the general ledger of the city, all 1099 payroll and tax forms submitted to the state and federal government. I want all information on the court in Prescott Valley. The court is a de facto kangaroo court. A kangaroo court is used in law to describe a court that should not be in operation. The city council appoints the administrator over the court. They are not judges. My 22-year-old son could do the job by simply reading all the codes made up in the city council in Prescott Valley. I've read all the codes of Prescott Valley, and they are not laws, and if they violate our rights, they will be deemed null and void. I caution the de facto kangaroo court in Prescott Valley to administrate without violating the people's rights. My goal is this unlawful court be eliminated. Did you know that there are some codes concerning Second Amendment rights reserved just for the City Council? City Council, 7 people took it upon themselves to hide that information from the public on what those codes say. Trump won the election. He has been the commander-in-chief of the military, and he will be back soon. Hydrochloroquine, Z-Pak, zinc, and ivermectin could have saved those who died of COVID. The CDC, without COVID testing, presumed those who came in with the flu, pneumonia, diabetes, and other diseases to have COVID and coded them COVID deaths. That's on the CDC website under comorbidity. Estimated CDC over-reported COVID deaths by 6,000%. That's also on there. About 36,000 COVID deaths nationwide. I have references to all this info, so if you want more or have any questions, email me at sjodi3333@gmail.com. To those in Prescott Valley who own homes and pay property taxes, here's the truth you probably are unaware of. You do not own the land your house sits on. The city buys property, develops it, then charges you property on their land. The city did not own the land, they do not charge your property tax, and if you did not pay the tax, the county forecloses on your property via the banks. The people in the town of Prescott Valley do not pay property taxes because they own their own land. Property taxes are unlawful. We do not need revenue for the city. We do need revenue for the city, and there are ways to collect revenue constitutionally to support the town. But some government is wasteful and must stop, such as the 23 ologists paid the $1.6 million a year in the schools.
All right,
My
ma'am,
goal
you're going to
is
have to
for-
start wrapping this up, please.
I have one more thing.
Okay.
My goal is for the city to gift back your land to you because of the fraud perpetrated on the people. A legal maxim states fraud vitiates everything at inception.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Clerk?
Steve Caros.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Steve Carroll's Pronghorn Ranch. Allow me to set up real quick so I can try to stay as close to the 3. Good evening. The following statement is very important as it regards public safety. I'm not speaking merely as a concerned citizen, but as a subject matter expert in natural gas delivery and public safety. In addition to my 21-plus years in law enforcement, I spent 26 years with the Southern California Gas Company, finishing my career as the lead over the management team responsible for South Orange County. I was involved in preliminary explosion and fire investigations, as well as facilitating first responder briefings with a focus on high-pressure gas transmission lines and their locations within federal DOT designated HCAs, which are high consequence areas. It has come to my attention that Pronghorn Ranch Unit 19 was approved for construction within the El Paso gas right-of-way for over and under the pipeline applications. This pipeline is 20-inch high pressure, and it's pushing a huge 877 pounds per square inch. On September 9, 2010, a gas transmission line of similar volume and age, etc., breached under a San Bruno, California neighborhood roadway. The resulting explosion and fire were catastrophic. YouTube has exceptional videos of this event. The building of 157 homes in this area calls for a thorough understanding by this body, the town, the developer, and the general public that lives in the impact area. Definitive scrutiny regarding this project is imperative. Some of my concerns are as follows. The design of this project creates what could be called a trap pocket, where 72 of these homes would be built on the west side of the pipeline with no emergency egress other than to cross over the pipeline should an incident occur. Likewise, fire trucks would not be able to reach that section without also crossing over the pipeline. We had a saying in the industry that this pipeline was not manufactured in heaven, nor was it installed by angels. Things can and do happen, especially when contractors are excavating under and over the pipeline to install sewer lines, etc. It is my professional opinion that placing these homes in this manner should be reconsidered. I was advised 18 months ago by a Dorn construction supervisor that there were floodplain issues in this area. If so, have they been addressed, is my question. Has the builder determined if changing the topography on each side would impose unacceptable stresses on the pipeline as addressed in the PIPA guide here? Could I have 45 more seconds?
It's all yours.
Thank you.
I'm going to hold you to it, though.
Okay. Anyway, the PIPA guide is for builders to know how to deal with their construction around the pipelines. My last concern is that within a few hours of receiving approvals regarding the right-of-way from Kinder Morgan, who owns the pipeline, grading began up to only 10 feet from the buffer right-of-way. That night, I pulled out from the Yavapai County website that there are no permits pulled, so we have an at-risk grading situation. Now, that happens a lot in this town, but it should not happen around this pipeline with 877 PSI, period. So that I would like to see addressed. It also appears that people are rushing within this project. It is my experience that when contractors get in a hurry around gas pipelines, bad things can happen. I encourage the town to recognize that this is certainly not just another development. There are very important public safety issues to consider here.
Thank you, sir.
And I can answer any questions based on my expertise if you have those. By the way, there's a photo of how close they were.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clerk?
John Treffin.
Welcome, sir. Just bring that microphone down a little bit. Yes, there you go.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, and staff. My concern is there's a few people in the area, and it's granted that want basically to stop all construction of homes. And tentatively, if you were to take and Prescott Valley stop all construction, they would move, let's say, to Prescott. If Prescott and Prescott Valley stopped all construction, they'd go to either Chino or Dewey Humboldt, and they would build, guess what, in this direction. So all I ask is let's make a good concerted effort to get some nice, decent homes, good lots, good example, the ranch out north of
Deep Well?
the Deep Well Ranch, thank you. They're slated for 10,000 homes out there. So they're, it's going to come this direction here regardless of what we have. So let's just take and build it conservatively. Let's have a good, proud town. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir, for your time. Don't forget your piece of paper.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Clerk?
Isabel Cersers.
Welcome.
Thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you tonight. Prior to the special meeting that you had on the chief settlement last week, I sent an email to the mayor and to the acting town manager to see if we could speak on our minds on what was going on. There was no response, not from any of you. The public deserves to know why and how a $200,000 plus payout of taxpayer money became necessary. The town attorney mentioned that, well, this happens. Yes, it does happen, but it should not be happening. This is taxpayer money. When this happens, it makes all of you look bad, not just the person responsible. This has been the second police chief in a short period of time. Why someone was involved in recruitment, shift, and vehicle assignments is unbelievable. It makes me suspect that someone wants to be police chief. There's been a lack of transparency and communication. And, by the way, today I got a letter from an attorney because I bothered to post on Nextdoor that I had made the request on Nextdoor that I had requested to speak. And someone said I should not be doing that, which violates my First Amendment right, and there was nothing wrong with that posting. So someone's attempting to intimidate. On May 3rd, I sent an email to the mayor, council, and town manager regarding issues in the community that I feel need to be addressed. Not one of you bothered to reply. That email had many concerns, but one of those concerns was the Puente de la Comunidad event that typically takes place annually. There was a lot of work that was put into that event to bridge the community with the Latino community, because there is crimes that happen in that community that do go unreported. And the 14th Amendment provides that there shall be equal protection to all that is fair and unbiased. This event has now become what will include a beer garden, a salsa, and tamale contest. Someone needs to tell me how this commercialized fiesta is now going to benefit community policing with the Latino community. I ask that the town now appoint an outside commission to look into the disparities in the community. It's bad enough that some of the events we see have Confederate flags.
Just start wrapping up your thoughts, please.
Can I have another minute?
No.
Okay. There's Confederate flags and there's other events that are dividing our community. and I do hold you guys responsible for that. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Clerk?
No one else.
We'll open it up also. I know this is kind of a new process with the forms you fill out, but if there's someone else that missed the form at the front table, you are more than welcome to come down at this time. All right, with that being said, move on to item 9. Can I get a motion?
I'd make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Vice Mayor Hunt? That passes unanimously.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming out, and if you want to stick around for a very exciting CFD board meeting, we'll be starting in about 5 minutes after this. Drive safe.